What's the absolute worst piece of advice you ever received? Just get pregnant and marry him. He will have to stop cheating if you do. God am I glad I didn't listen to that. I was told multiple times by her family that having a child would help fix our marriage. You'll both be focused on the kid. It'll help you bond. When I explained that I didn't want to bring a child into an unstable environment based on a gamble, the prevailing thought was that I was being selfish. Unreal. That's exactly when you should hit the eject button. My dad told me to get a goddamn balloon lease on a car as soon as I graduated college. I had no idea what was going on and thought I'd bought the car. Imagine my surprise 4 years later when not only did I own 0 cars, I also owed $20k or had to get a new car. Screwed my finances for years. My dad is not good with money. Don't worry about the cost of the wedding, you'll make it back in the gifts. Didn't know I could pay my rent in sandwich makers. Yeah, but then most of your net worth will be in toasters. You only need to feed newborns once a day. Fine. What? If by once they mean continuously, then maybe? Your dog came from an abusive household and is shy around people? I suggest starving him for a few days until he is forced to eat from your hand. No. If you have a bicycle, saw it in half and get 2 unicycles. Advice from an honest hobo in San Francisco holding a sign that said 1 for bad advice. Here's a buck. What's your advice? Buy some more advice. I want to give that guy $100 to speak at a high school assembly. Friend told me to pull out student loans to buy cryptocurrency. I didn't listen, of course. He did it himself though and got burned on epic proportions. On the flip side, a friend put down his 50 grand house deposit on some crypto. 3 months later cashed out and bought his house cash. You should just give him a chance. About my potentially violent stalker. Break up with her. She's not worth it. Nobody has the right to treat you that way. Because my wife and I disagreed over who should do the laundry. Thanks. Reddit. Edit. I should add. This was unsolicited advice. Back when originally job seeking, pretty much everything my parents told me to do. Like sure, it may have worked in your day to give them a slip of paper with your name and the words reliable and keen. But most major chain stores hire through an online form these days. It's especially fun when you explain to them that decisions of who to interview are seldom made at the store level. And will probably be done hundreds of miles away by some putz who will never see your face. They get angry and assume you must be lying. Many years ago my mother told my 2 younger sisters who were 13 and 15 at the time to get pregnant ASAP to any boy their own age so they could get a benefit in child support for the next 18 years. Her reasoning was that the boy's parents would make extra hush payments to keep it quiet and her daughters would be able to be like her, jobless and paid by the state to stay at home doing nothing. It was actually good advice because both of my younger sisters are hard-working, highly educated women now in their 30s with decent partners who are only now looking at having children. That advice finally broke the hold she had over them and showed them what they didn't want to be as an adult. That's a new level of fed up. A 2-year degree in computers? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Nobody uses them because nobody can afford them. Focus on 4 years of English Lit. Advice from an unnamed source in 1990. However, my internet posts are top notch. When I was young, a teacher said to me, it's rude if you ask for something. You have to let them offer it first. My mom taught me this growing up and it gave me aggressive anxiety, resulting in me never asking for help when I need it. Never admit when you're wrong. The person I hate for how prideful and toxic he is says to me, you should try washing your face more. Thanks. I never thought of that. Cries into 15 bottles of moisturizers, exfoliators, and facial cleansers. But have you tried X product? Yes. It doesn't work for me. You have to use it daily. I do. HMM. You must not be using it right. Actual convo hairdresser. If anyone is ever stupid enough to think they love you in spite of how you look, you'd better stick with them for life because it will never happen again. Thanks, Mom. That sure didn't lead to a pattern of incredibly dangerous and abusive relationships I couldn't break until my mid-30s. Forgive and forget. My family has always said this and it only kept abusive people in my life. They were never held accountable for their actions and I was supposed to forgive them and never bring it up again because they're family. Cutting out toxic family members and remembering why I did it was the best thing I've ever done for myself. I feel like forgive and forget should mean forgive them. Then forget they exist. This is good advice for dealing with everyday screw-ups by basically decent people. A family or community can't function if everyone's obsessed with the fact that everyone else has made mistakes. But a pattern of bad behavior is a different story. And people pressuring someone who's been seriously hurt to forgive and forget because it makes life easier for the perpetrator and those who support them is just shitty. People are monsters. So you better settle with whoever you can. No thanks, mother. I don't wanna end up with 4 kids and 7 failed relationships and an abusive on and off boyfriend who walks all over me because I let him. You only need C's to graduate. Community college will take you. Thanks, mom. I got mostly A and B's and then didn't even apply to any colleges besides the community college right next to my high school. Not sure why, but I'm transferring in August. In college I broke up with my girlfriend over the summer despite it being the wrong decision. She was the sweetest, most loving girl I'd ever met. She sent me a package of really thoughtful gifts for my birthday and I was going to call her and thank her. I honestly think we would have gotten back together. My roommate convinced me I shouldn't call her and give her false hope. I felt horrible and didn't call. I still regret that to this day. I had never had a boyfriend before and my friend told me it's because I'm too intimidating and I should dumb it down when talking to men to make them like me more. I'm really glad that you know this is bad advice. Like, seriously. One of my friends told me this exact same thing. She also said to bring a water bottle when I went on a date and pretend I couldn't open it so my date could do it for me. If I need to pretend I can't open a refine water bottle to get a guy to like me, he's definitely the wrong guy. Good on you for recognizing that's bad advice. Don't fight back, they'll eventually stop. With age comes wisdom, so you must always listen to your elders. They always have your best interests at heart. This is not always true. They're all still human. No matter how old they are. They also make mistakes, act selfish, are spiteful. Dumb people get old too. My much older cousin once scolded me for putting my water glass in the dishwasher. I argued, saying it was dirty. And she said, "Can you see the germs?" "No." "Then it's still clean. Put it back in the cupboard." I was really shocked by this. But I was also too little to stand up for myself further. So I just did it. Never used a dish at her house again. Adults can be dumb too. Lol. Better hurry up and get married. You'll be 30 soon and then men won't care about you anymore. Joke's on you, idiot, men already don't care about me. I'm selling my house. My new house will be ready in 3 weeks. My mother told me not to sell to someone who is going to put a pool in my already beautiful backyard. Heal. I'm selling to whoever will pay me what I'm asking. Find it odd your mom is really against you digging around in the backyard? Anyone go missing recently? To stay with an abuser because it was a sin to leave. Welsh. Guess I'll be a sinner then. Don't do X. Because you are a girl. As in. Don't whistle. It isn't ladylike. Don't chew gum or smoke. Both are unbecoming for a girl. Don't talk on dates. Listen, that is what boys find attractive. Didn't say. Don't join the army. I retired as a lieutenant colonel. Don't talk on dates. Him. So how was your day? You. Silence. Yeah. Totally a good way to get a guy interested in you. From my dad, go to the pub and start a fight thinking it would somehow help my social life. If a boy is mean to you, that means he really likes you. Thanks for that one, auntie. Totally didn't F me up at 7 years old when I told you a classmate punched me in the nose. Get a 2008 Jeep Commander. My father-in-law, who loves Jeeps, that thing broke down every 6 months. And it cost $2.3k to fix every time. And for an unrelated reason. We don't talk to him anymore. My grandmother always used to tell me you can never be too rich or too thin. Which is just questionable all around really. Never being too thin is definitely bullsh. Though I wouldn't mind feeling that oh if I have too much money. Better stop now sensation from time to time. I have a great one. In high school I joined the football team my freshman year. There was a giant senior who played fullback and was one of the physical strongest players we had. Dude was jacked. He dead serious told me that if you work out hard enough and get big enough muscles that bullets couldn't make it through them. He really believed that bullets couldn't kill you if you were jacked enough. He was a bit dumb. Told me this in a freshman class he had to take as a senior. Nothing mentally wrong with him. He just didn't devote much time to anything other than lifting and football. Nice guy though. I was told to stop being so sensitive after pouring my heart out to my best friend about something she was doing that was hurting me. I ended that friendship, on good terms, a few months later. BTW I agree that in certain cases you gotta be insensitive to protect yourself. But in that given situation, she was basically telling me to not be myself and share my true feelings with her because my paragraphs were annoying. Never make friends with your coworkers. If I didn't make friends with coworkers I'd have a lot less friends. I spend so much of my life with them that having a good group of friends you work with makes work so much more bearable. Don't worry about what your Southern Ivy Law School costs. The name will get you good jobs and you'll be able to pay off the debt in a few years. 25 years later, I could pay off the loan amount or buy a new Prius outright. You don't have to pay medical bills. Just tell them you can't pay them and ignore their calls. My mom told me this before I knew what credit was. Now I can't rent an apartment or get a decent loan for a car, thanks mom. The good old just stop worrying so much and be happy. Like you am off the fair. You just solved all my problems. I'd never thought about that myself. It's better to keep your mouth shut no matter what. Yeah? If I didn't keep my mouth shut then I would not have taken a beating from a group of guys in order to take the fall for a friend who pissed the group off. Snitches get stitches, no. People who don't fess up also get stitches sometimes. This may not be the worst advice I've ever received but it certainly irritates me to hear it. As long as you sound like you know what you're talking about people won't question it. Maybe it's true. But I'm not really all that interested in perpetuating bullshit. The more people that know the truth about things the better off we all are.